I mean, I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and like deport me, but I don't even know like why that's such a scary threat. Like, I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. Like, I can go live wherever I want.
We aren't even here for 30 years straight, dog. And we're already at the forefront of the fucking news. The White House is talking about us, calling us scammers and shit, yo. Long story short, I'm not gonna get into the details or specifics on what happened, but just know we Somali people are great people. Shout out to the people in Minnesota, though. They really love us. And on top of that, the White House is talking about us like we aren't Americans ourselves.
markaan haddaan askarnahay Soomaaliyeed ininka inii shaqeynaa habeenii maalmo ininka inii taaganahay
They are going to start creating their own flag and forming their own country inside the US. Uncle Trump, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Amigo, não tem problema, amigo, eu não tenho problema, amigo. Hold on, me, man. Sorry. Move back. Out the way, boys, out the way.
Families need the relief. We need leaders who will invest in our neighbors, not attack them. The Somali community in Minnesota is the backbone of the state. We contribute to the economy, we serve our communities, we raise families, and we do it with pride. We move to communities in greater Minnesota that have been decimated by the bad practices of the big corporation interests. And big brings small local business, like here today, multi-generational income and help with restoration. I am saying this to say we are greater than fear, and to my Somali community, iskasha tomakufto, which means when people stand together, they do not fall. We will continue to show up for one another with courage.
All roads lead to Mogadishu, Somalia. I've booked my flight. By the end of this year, I'm moving to Somalia full time, bro. The West does not want us here anymore, so it's cool, we're cutting. You man are saying all roads lead to Rome. I'm saying all roads lead to Somalia, bro. I'm gonna start up a new life there. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I might meet some criminals on the run, but that's live. I'm trying to meet some drill rappers. I'm trying to meet a few people out there. I'm not only gonna be going to Mogadishu. Obviously, the whole country is non-extradition treaty, innit? Even though I can't, like, why am I saying that? Because I'm not even a criminal. But bro, do you get what I'm saying? I'm tired of London. I'm tired of Northwest London. I'm tired of this whole city, bro. All roads lead to Rome. Banna, all roads are leading to Mogadishu, Somalia, bro. I'm moving. I'm gone. Muslim country. We're going to rebuild our country from the ground up. And I'm going to be the first one to do it, bro. Let's go. End of this year, it's to Somalia. Here we go. I can't wait. Bro, I don't know the language, but I'm gonna learn it.
About how Somali immigrants in Minnesota have been ripping off American taxpayers. In fact, 86 people have been charged in a rampant and widespread fraud scheme spanning multiple programs in Minnesota. Of those 86, 78 of those people are Somali, 91% of them charged. So far, 59 of those people have been convicted for their roles in fraud plots that have stolen $1 billion from taxpayers. In one scheme, and this is egregious, a nonprofit and its affiliates with these Somali migrants claimed to have fed tens of thousands of American children during the pandemic. They were reimbursed for those meals by taxpayers. However, federal prosecutors found that almost all of those meals were never even delivered to hungry children. In fact, those organizations' leaders spent the money on houses, luxury cars, and real estate in Turkey and Kenya.
This is evil. These people are evil. They hate you, they hate this country, and they want to see it all burn to the ground. Do you realize that? They've stolen $1 billion+ from American taxpayers and then lied about where the money was going. Like, do you realize how evil of a person you have to be to say that you're feeding children, that you're doing charitable works like taking care of sick kids during the pandemic, and then not? And the governor, Tim Walz, is allegedly complicit in all of this, according to this post by whistleblowers you can pause to read. And the account that posted it ended up getting suspended. Tim Walz plays the Minnesota nice, like goofy dad who just happened to be elected as governor card, and it works. It works to the point where the president called him But I don't think that because an idiot doesn't allow over $1 billion of taxpayer money to get funneled into scams. So no, I don't think Tim Walz is a retard. I think that he's malicious, he's evil, and he does this intentionally because he hates this country and wants to see it destroyed.
I think the biggest problem Somalis are having is not understanding what the fellow Americans are talking about, what they are telling them. Americans are not telling you to change who you are. They're not telling you to not preserve your own culture or get rid of your culture to accommodate their own. They're not telling you to throw away whatever you have been used to, throw away your ways of living so that you can live as an American. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying that you can try to assimilate. You can try to live the way they are also living or to understand it. And the biggest problem I think that is going on is, going to another country. Not all Somalis are doing this, but a big chunk of Somalis are doing illegal activities. They are frauding the government of America. You have been given the ability to stay in a country and you have been given opportunities, same as every other American citizen in America. And taking that and then turning it to make it into something bad, turning it into, kind of like attacking the country that you're literally living in, knowing that it is your host country. They didn't have to take you in, but they chose to. So once they took you in, you would think that you would want to make a better life where you are, not fraud, committing fraud to that country, not stealing from that country's, tax paying people and all that. That is what is now becoming a nuisance to the American people. And that is what the American people are trying to tell you, that you cannot go into someone else's country and then bite the hand that is feeding you. But before I give my full commentary, let's listen to what more they have to say, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Somalia, but they want to have everything in America Somalian.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That don't make
it's
sense.
Interesting. They want to wave their flag and speak their language and have their stuff from Somalia in America, but then as soon as people are like, nah, we don't want this here, it's a problem.
It's racist.
I just, it's interesting. I just can't get behind this whole thing. It just doesn't make sense to me.
They changed the Minnesota flag into a Somalian flag.
Bro, I remember I said that. People are like, no, you're wrong.
They
like,
did.
then why does it look so similar? Why does it look so similar?
I don't get that, man. That is weird. I mean, you don't want to go back.
But you want to rep your flag.
Not even that you don't want to go back. You're scared.
And then they don't assimilate.
They don't want to be Americans.
It's like, crazy. Y'all want to be Somalian and speak y'all language and talk about how you proud to be from there. Okay, if you're so proud, why not go back?
That don't make sense at all, bro.
I'm very confused about that. That's just a liberal mindset, though. Honestly,
I just don't.
That's like with the Mexicans.
That's actually like pretty stupid.
And then they make these videos where like they try to garner pity for them. Like, oh, they're scared. They're scared to go back. Like, okay. Why are you so proud to be from there if you know it's bad? Come here and assimilate.
Man, fuck Somalia. I'm American. I don't see none of that shit.
Yeah, you really don't.
That's what's confusing.
Not only are they not assimilating with American culture, they're pulling fraud. That is the craziest stuff I've ever heard, bro. Like, this is crazy to me.
They finessing the system for sure.
And we need to look up, when did it start? Probably under Joe Biden.
Should look it up. That's actually under Obama.
Yeah, probably Obama was the reason why they came, actually. So it probably started when he was in office.
He was laundering his money too.
Also, let's add up. Hey, you need them. You know who needs these Somalis to be in the United States? People in Somalia. Because in 2023, remittances to Somalia alone totaled $1.7 billion, which is more than the entire Somali government budget.
40% in that same article, 40% of households in Somalia get remittances from the United States. Wow.
I'm telling you, the fact that this woman feels comfortable enough in America to come out and announce that shit that is like a slap in the face to Americans. It's a slap in the face. And this is within our government, people, within our own government. This woman and the things that she's saying, like, they will do what I say. They will do what we say. They will do what we want. No bullshit. This is America. This is America. That is illegal. Just in case you don't know who this woman is, let me show you. Yeah. What is going on in this world today? Do you see how comfortable she was to come out and say what she said? She said she'd do anything basically to protect her brother. What else have you done? Everything that you've said, I want to know what else you've done.
I'm not mad at the Somali people. I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. I am not mad at the Somali people in the state of Minnesota. I'm not mad at them. You know why I'm not mad at them? Because what they're doing is what happens when people come together to build an empire. And that's what they have done and are doing. They have created an empire in the state of Minnesota. And they are unified by one ideology, by one politics called Islam. They're not divided by some gender ideology. They're not divided by feminism. They're not divided by some type of queer politics or anything like that. They're not divided by liberalism. Because Islam, the kind of Islam they practice, it is resistant to liberalism. It is resistant to feminism. It is resistant to any type of ideology that would disrupt them internally.
There is an all-out assault on Somali Americans. And I kid you not, it is coming from some of the highest elected officials to some of the local politicians and everywhere in between, and unelected people too. And here's my question. I was just watching Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida. Governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, basically talking crap about Somalis. And mind you, probably Somalis make about statistical, mind you, the Somali American number in the state of Florida is probably non-existent. Outside of spring break vacationers, right? They don't exist almost. But he basically says, listen.
Legal immigration is bad. Legal immigration, no matter what, is good. And wait a minute. Now, I'm not saying any of it's that it's all bad or what, but is bringing 10 million people from like Somalia and dumping them into Georgia, is that good because it's legal? I think you have to think critically about what are we doing with an immigration policy, and is it benefiting the American people? Is it helping to promote a strong American culture? We should never bring people into this country who hate America. And when
Hi, so I just really want to make this video from like a human space. This is something I've been really meaning to say, and I'm so glad that I can finally articulate it to you guys. So I'm Somali. I grew up in Minnetonka. I've been raised here my entire life. I am born here and I've lived here. I've studied here. I'm a pre-med. I do research, and that's usually the type of stuff I talk about on my page. But right now I feel like it's really important for me to say this. What I'm going to say is that I have been getting so many messages telling me to go back to your country, go back to your country. But the reality of the situation is the United States is the only country I've ever known my entire life. And the thing is, the great irony of it all is I'm not the ambassador of Somalia. I don't speak for Somali people. I'm not a spokesperson for this community. I'm just one young person trying to study, navigate life, and live like any other 20-something-year-old living here in this state. And so something that I feel like is going on is that there's a lot of immigrant people and first-gen, second-gen kids with, like me, with this weight on our shoulders trying to explain everything going on in our communities, trying to defend our communities. But I'm really no different from any other 20-something-year-old trying to make it here in this state, in this country, in this world. And so I'm sharing this because I really feel like a lot of us are being treated this way and dealing with this quietly. But the reality is we aren't symbols. We aren't some type of ambassador. We are just human beings.
Yeah, I think that that's one perspective. But the other perspective is, you know, you're just collateral damage from the bad decisions that was made, you know, possibly from your family, depending on how they got here. Because we still have to ask the question, right? This young woman who, you know, you have to love and respect the fact that they were able to articulate themselves and communicate clearly about what their plight is and what's happening over in the Somali community, which she's not necessarily saying anything that we don't already know, that people that are born here inside of the United States of America, especially ones that receive birthright citizenship, meaning that their parents may not necessarily be from here, and they may have come over here either illegally or you know, temporary protective status, but it doesn't mean that it justify the fact that we are leveraging laws that were meant for American descendants of slaves, people that did not ask to be here, and you know, them receiving birthright citizenship should not have been extended over into people that are just normally born in the United States of America, regardless of what their circumstances are. So while I acknowledge that we should make sure that we accommodate people that are legally here in the United States of America as citizens, you can't blame people that then speak loudly about the fact that we should be putting Americans first and the people that are here already, instead of advocating for and allocating our tax dollars for people that came over here illegally.
أنا معهم لأن دبي أنت اللي وضو باسبوركي ولا قاطي وعلي ساوك جرا أنتو قفوا إمبسي لسؤال لكورو إلا كبغ لسؤال عند علي. I don't want to be here no more. I'm so tired of being here. This place. This is where I'm living. So tired of it. It's just like I want to go back. I don't want to be here no more. I don't cut my hair. I don't shave. I don't do nothing.
I personally do not mind a point of pride. I personally don't mind people having their own pride and being proud of their culture and who they are, and even having their own attitudes toward things and having their own opinion. That is very, very okay. But getting to a point where, you know, the people of the country that you're living in are actually talking about the serious things that you guys are doing, or people of your culture, people of your community are doing, I think it's something to, instead of, you know, seeing it as an attack, you can actually, you know, try and find a way or a solution to change it. Instead of going on social media and talking about how you're ready to get out of that country and that country has not helped you, or you don't mind whatever they do, they can even deport you at any time, like you're going to make it in another country no matter what, and your country wasn't even so bad, and you don't mind, you know, going back to your country or any other country, you know, that is not good. That is not okay. We get that you can have pride. Pride is good, because if you don't have pride, then it means you don't have beliefs. You don't stand up for anything. But having to fight people who are not fighting you against things that you haven't done, there is literally proof of the things that your people, not everyone in your community has done, but a big chunk of them have done it. When they're telling you that a big chunk of your people are doing a certain thing and therefore they should be deported, it's not a race thing. It's not, you know, Americans trying to be racist towards you. It's not about, you know, looking or putting an extra eye on you to make sure that you're acting right and, you know, taking notes on what you're doing each and every day and looking, you know, observing everything that you're doing. It's not about that. It's about why are you doing it when this country has given you the opportunity to come to their country and live as freely as you possibly can. Literally, when you talk to people about it, I have also done my research, they say that Minnesota is full of Somalis. Everywhere you go, they are everywhere. They are in Target, there's literally, even when you call, maybe helplines or hotlines in Minnesota, there's English, Spanish, and Somali. They have been integrated into America. They've been integrated into that state and that area. So to find that, again, you have been allowed all these things, you have been accommodated to this aspect, to this point, and then, you know, again, taking it as a point of attack, like that, you know, American people are attacking you, when you know damn well that there is proof of what you guys are doing. There is proof of what some of you guys are doing. And therefore, you should take charge of your own mistakes. You should take charge of what you guys have been doing. And it's okay for those people to be deported, because if it was happening in your country, would you want people who are attacking your economy to live in your country? Would you want people that you have accommodated into your country to do certain things, to do illegal activities, and just let them, you know, go freely? Would you allow them to take money from your fellow Somali people and not ever pay, not ever, you know, get deported, nothing ever happens to them, no legal action is ever taken against them? Would you be comfortable in such a situation? Each and every country has to protect its own. It has to protect its own culture, its own way of life, and, you know, its laws, and it needs to also reinforce those laws. So I guess I so many, you know, Somalis in this video talk about how their community is very strong, and there's even a Black American who talks about how he loves that Somalis have come together, they have built a community, something that is not really seen in America as much, because yes, we do have Black people who create different communities around, you know, America, but never like in general all Black Americans. It's maybe, you know, Black Americans from this state, Black Americans from that state, and even white people too, and Hispanics and Latinas. But these Somalis have created a group of everyone in America, everyone. It's literally like an, I'm not going to say an army, but it's like a very strong community. They speak their own language, they do their own things by themselves, on themselves, you know, and it's fine. You know, they don't have to speak, you know, the language that everyone else in America does, but they can try, you know, they can try because they're living in a country where those people are talking in that country. It's not about, you know, letting go of your culture. It's not about being denied your way of life and speaking your own language, but it's about assimilating and living with these people because you came to their country. So you can also try to hear what they have to say. You know, you can also try and be able to learn how to communicate with the same people, you know, and taking things like they're an attack is not really how Somalis will take things. Yes, maybe to some extent, maybe there have been attacks, I don't know. But about this particular, you know, story about fraud and being deported, I feel like if it was happening to their own country, they would do the very, very same thing. Because if it was happening in our country too, I think we would also want that to also happen. They should understand where, you know, Americans are coming from and actually find a way to communicate with Americans without trying to fight each and every American, you know, like trying to, you know, stand over and beyond what Americans are saying. When you know very, very well they're not attacking you, but they're attacking your actions. They're attacking the kind of things that you're doing inside their country because they're not comfortable when you come into someone else's country. And obviously there is history with your country. Then you come to the country and then you do things that are opposite of what they probably expected, because when someone expects you in their house, they don't expect you to steal, otherwise they will not have let you in their home, you know. So that is all from me today. If you have enjoyed this video, kindly consider sharing, subscribing and liking. I'd like to see you in the next video, so make sure that you come back and I'll see you then.